All right, guys, this is a Meidjo telemarketer here. At the request of one of our viewers, and just for general anyway, we're making a video on how to use the Meidjo 3.0 and how to transition into tour mode. So first and foremost, start with your boot. If it's a newer TX Pro, you're going to see these two little dots, and they changed the geometry from the older boots to make this easier to get in and out. But if you want to get into the Meidjo, what you need to do is if you look at the ski brake here, there's this little dimple, and that's meant for the front of your boot. So you put the front of your boot in there, and then you just press it down. And when you press down, the tech toe, the springs engage. So now the tech toe's in, and before you step on the boot, step down to engage the second heel. I'll show you what the second heel is in a second. You want to pivot a couple times back and forth just to make sure that these are seated properly and they're not cocked. Once that's done, then if you look down here at the second heel, you'll see that the second heel is not engaged. And so all you have to do with the 3.0 is just step down on that. And then there's a little ramp here. It'll push the springs back and engage the second heel. So that'll be done like that. And now you are ready to telemark downhill. So that is how you get in to the Meidjo. How you get out of the Meidjo is I just take my ski pole. Right now I'm gonna use my hand because we're not skiing, but you press down and then the tech toe releases, and then all you got to do is kind of just wiggle your boot out and you're out. So there you go, step in, step out. Now, how do you transition to tour mode? This was a question one of the viewers had. What you do is, if you look in here, there's this little tab, and when your boot engages in ski mode, this tab forces what they call the kickstand up. So with no boot in here, you pick up on the box, the spring box, and that kickstand drops down and hits into this little notch here, and then you push the box back down, and that forces the springs back. And then you take this little metal tab and you flick it up. And so what that does is the kickstand is forcing the springs back, so that when you get into the tech toe, now the second heel will not latch onto your boot. And that's tour mode. So you go in same way as you would if you were going downhill. And now the boot is in tour mode, and you're rocking and rolling. Now you'll see when you read the manual, they'll mention that you can lock the tech toe down for touring. I really never actually have to use this. The only time I have to use it if it's like really icy and I'm sidestepping, I've had it released, but for the most part I never lock the toe down. But if you need to lock the toe down, if you find yourself popping out of the tech toe because you're heavy or the conditions or whatever, you just flick this up, and there it goes. There it is. Now it's locked. Never ever ever ski like that, because it won't release and you break your leg. I don't even really ever use it, but that is how to lock the tech toe. Unlock, same thing, you just flick it back down. Now transitioning, I have not had much luck transitioning from tour mode back to ski mode without taking the skis off. I find it's just easier to take the skis off. The reason is because if you're trying to do it, you have to put your boot up and then push down on this and then flick that lever, if you see it, to go back into to ski mode. Now in order to do this, all you have to do, if there's not icing in the toe box, which is one of the big reasons why I can't actually do this, aside from the fact it's just hard to hit this little switch, is all you'd have to do is just step back down and then go forward a little bit, and now you're back into tour mode. So if you don't have icing back there and you can manage to flick that little lever, you can keep your skis on and transition back without taking your skis off. However, One of the problems that you'll find is that while you're touring, you'll get icing back in these spots, and you'll just get a little bit of snow back there, and what that'll do is it'll prevent the boot from fully latching into here, and then it'll also prevent this red thing from being pushed back, which will leave the kickstand open. So you'll end up kind of in this like purgatory of like half tour, half ski mode. All you gotta do is pop the ski off, take I've been using my ski pole. It seems to be working fine, but probably like a plastic ice scraper would be better. I met one guy who said he uses a golf tee, but just take and poke the snow out of here, or the ice out of here, and then go back into it. Now you'll see that they sell a part which will remove the kickstand. And then the way you tour that way is it has, I believe it's a little, it's a different heel piece, and it has a riser that flicks up. And so what that does is it basically just keeps, it eliminates the kickstand so you don't have the icing issue. But what that will do is it'll keep your boot up here, so that you won't ever really be able to go flat when you're touring. And that's not a big deal if like all you're gonna do when you're touring is go uphill. But a lot of the touring I do where I live is like up and down, and so being able to push your foot flat gives you an increased glide. So for me, I'd rather deal with the icing. But if you're mostly a resort skier and you don't tour as much, then it might be a better option to get, I think they call it the powder box, or the powder, I think it's called the powder box, but you just talk to Confluence or whoever you get the parts from and mention that you want that. That would be for someone who's like maybe 80 to 90%, you know, resort downhill and less touring. For me, I'd rather just deal with the icing so I have the increased range of motion. The only other spot that I've noticed I've gotten icing is occasionally you get some snow underneath here in these springs, and you can just poke that out with your ski pole. But yeah, in the other video I made, I talked about these pins. I've had these little itty pins here slide out, but Brian at Confluence thought it was a manufacturer defect, and so he replaced them, and I haven't had any problems with the pins falling out since then. So hopefully that helps, guys, and let me know if you have any questions, and we'll just keep making videos to help you guys out as much as you guys like them. So get ready for the season.